Hello there again, my fellow Bears fans.
Hello there.
I know I had some audio issues with my upload last week, so in honor of those we've lost recently, I'm gonna make sure that I leg drop this one, bite its head off, and knock it out of the park.
It's Rhine! 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 Rhine!
I'm Joe B1 here with an update on the first full week of Bears training camp.
83.
Fact machine.
As we know, the Bears kicked off their first practice of training camp last Wednesday. On Saturday, the team allowed the first fans into the facilities at Halas Hall, and on Monday, the pads went on and we got to hear the grunts and crunches that ring like music in my ears on a Sunday night at the rave. The early takeaway is that the defense is ahead of the offense, which is not uncommon in general for most teams. This defense benefits from not having as much to change scheme-wise, still running a 4-3, albeit not the Tampa 2 style favored by their previous head coach Matt Eberflus. This Dennis Allen-led squad looks like it will be much more aggressive and blitz-heavy, showing a number of fronts that have been frustrating for Caleb in the early part of camp. Health permitting, the defense really looks like it could be a top squad in the league this season. But with no real depth behind pass rushers Sweat and Odebingo, Jalen Johnson already starting the season injured, and the concussion history of Jaquan Brisker, this unit staying on the field and productive would seem a most tenuous prospect at best. Health is a major component of any team's run to a Lombardi trophy, so I guess time will tell. Speaking of health, second-round defensive tackle Shamar Turner will miss the preseason and possibly the opener with an ankle injury sustained in Monday's padded practice. Offensively, the first thing I want to say is that Coach Ben Johnson appears to have to fire and to passion.
You're 100% right, but you're a pain in the butt.
Not to get too meatbally, but Ben Johnson has been getting after it. He has no patience for misalignment, unpreparedness, or lack of attention to detail, even being seen pulling players and sometimes an entire offensive unit off the field. Coach Johnson can be heard clearly on the practice field and commands his press conferences well. One of the big questions going into his first gig as a head coach was whether or not he could be a leader of men. I think that slowly and day by day he is answering that question. Coach Johnson has more or less been force-feeding Caleb the entire offense in the hopes of learning what he's good at so they can dial it back and have a more succinct attack in the future. The first few days were a struggle for Caleb, throwing a pick in his first throws of 11 on 11s and not getting in and out of the huddle smoothly. By the team's second padded practice on Tuesday this week, Caleb was showing noticeable improvement, with Coach Johnson noting as much while speaking after practice.
I probably just see growth. He is so much more comfortable right now, even yesterday, the walkthrough yesterday, just in terms of moving around. You know, we go from gun to under to the tight ends are moving, the receivers are moving. We're adding a few more every single day. And so I think his process, and I told him this on the player day off, his process is really clean right now. I'm talking about how he's preparing.
There are many national reporters dipping in and out of camps all over the country, and a few have already popped up in Chicago saying, Caleb ain't got it. I feel it's a little early to make that declaration, so let's give him a camp to figure it out, folks. On positive notes, both Colston Loveland and Luther Burden were seen practicing this week. While Burden had a slow start and some misalignments leading to him being pulled from the offense, just like everybody else last week, Loveland stood out making athletic catches and looking like his shoulder injury may not hamper him after all going into the season. Fingers crossed, but I have high hopes for this kid. Tyson Bagent and Case Keenum have been seen alternating snaps with the second and third teams, sometimes spending the entire day with a squad, sometimes only a few series. I'm not sure how the backup spot will shake out, but I assume both these guys will make the 53-man roster. The strangest and most unsettling news so far out of camp is at the left tackle position. It had been thought that Braxton Jones would be penciled in as the starter. However, Jones has reported to camp with one leg clearly larger than the other, indicating he will likely not be ready to go to start the year. Ozzie Trapillo and Kieran Amagaji have been taking turns with the first team in the same way that Tyson Bagent and Case Keenum have been with the second and third team. For now, it would seem that Trapillo is in line to be the Week 1 starter, but it is unlikely that this will be decided anytime soon. For now, that is what we have to report after a full week of Bears camp. I don't know about you guys, but knowing that the opening kick of the regular season is only 5 weeks away has me amped.
I am so ready.
And this Thursday, we will be getting our first football of the year as the Lions and the Chargers play in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. I'll probably watch the first quarter before I doze off for the evening, as is customary for preseason football. Until then, I shall report back to you until I have something to report. I'm Joby Wan, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and join me in the future as the 2025 Chicago Bears season gets rolling.